All right, people. So, very quickly, hopefully, I always say that there are two individuals that really, really get, and I mean really get it. I don't know, one of them has to actually, that really get at least what I'm getting and have gotten, and I didn't even want it as far as the knowledge goes and stuff. I didn't even want it, um, but for some reason, when you tend to come across certain things, that's, when, at least then, when, they, you know, for simply being aware of certain things would just come after you. So there's two individuals that get it. Those two individuals are these. And one of them, which people know more, is the president now. Um, I call him Mr. DJ. So I really hope he doesn't mind. I mean, that's just within to myself and within my own circles. But uh, I followed him and Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. This video is already up there, and it was in the early 2000s. And with Mr. DJ, it allowed me to get a really good, kind of like how he thinks, and it's allowed me, and his couple of the points of advice that I took from him, it's really allowed me to, I mean, it literally stayed with me all the way through my own businesses, and it helped me to take care of, myself, my family, and I'll be forever grateful for that. But in addition, it let me kind of, and it's only come apparent to me as of recently, really get and comprehend how he thinks. And I can't help but, people are sitting on the edge of their seat, and all this stuff that's going on right now, I can't help but crack up, because I know, I mean, I don't know what the words would be, but I know what he's doing, but I know why he's doing it. Now, I know this is a mixture. I got to be careful what I say too. But, um, there's more people involved, let's put it that way. But I can't help but just crack up. Now, when I say crack up, I mean, trust me, if there's anybody who knows that this ain't no damn game, and this ain't no damn, play. Gee, I wonder how come I hate them damn theater terms now. You'll find out. But anyway, it's when that would be me, by the way. When I say nobody should know that better, because you have no idea what's done to me. Anyhow, with Mr. DJ, when he speaks at these, like the recent CPAC things, I mean, I couldn't help but just crack up, because my God, you can tell. And I don't know, I mean, I've been told that before, but I kind of, you see, you learn, not monkey see, monkey do, but you see, you learn, and then you kind of, not imitate, but there's an impression on you, and then you kind of tend to practice or exercise the same ways of. And I can tell exactly when, when he's trying to say certain other things. But what happened in the process is this: it allows you to see another layer. And, I don't want to, I got to be careful what I say here, but I don't want to get myself in trouble or anything. But, and it just cracks me up, because I know exactly what he's doing and how he does business. That's why I kind of get it. So that's the part, Mr. DJ, and how it kind of helps me get things as they're happening right now. Now let's move to I call him Mr. Mike. So with Mr. Mike, um, and he has no idea. We, myself, and that man, he's that very generous, gentle-hearted man. We have so many things in common. He has no idea. He doesn't know me, and neither one of them will hear this, so it doesn't matter. But I just wanted to get this out there. I call him my star brother, and I think I had in the mirror the two-parter that I put up here called the mirror. I think it was the second part. Yeah, it had to be the second part because the first one was kind of a musical thing. But the one I had referred to him, and I don't know. I just call him my star brother because why do I say that? Well, besides all those things in common, and there's a few things that I don't even think even if he was like right in front of me, I don't even know. I don't even know if I would even tell him because it's just some of it's you would think it's kind of okay, well, it's kind of stupid, it's kind of corny, but and then some of it's very they're jaw droppers, and but besides those things, the reason I call him Star Brother is because he's the only other one besides Mr. DJ. He's the only other one that if I was to let myself go and just start rattling off, and he's the only one that'll know what I mean when I say this. I don't know about Mr. DJ in this case, but I know that Mr. Mike would understand this when I say, there's certain people that simply because they have a little more clear, maybe conduit. Let's leave it at that. Okay, he knows what I mean. When that happens, I guess some people would use the term blessed. I put it like this. When you have an aha moment, and people say, oh, it kind of came to me. Well, how do you think it came to you? If your heart, when that story about, he knows what I mean. So I'll just talk to Mr. Mike. So Mr. Mike, you know what I mean when I say that the story about but a lot of other people might too, since they know now, but about the Rainbow Bridge, and because of the movies and all that stuff. Some have known for a very long time, some of us. And your heart has to be pure. It's not like you're going to go walking on a rainbow bridge. So when I bring up the aha moment, and he'll get this, it's the fact that someone, somewhere, loves you and cares about you so much that they're sharing it with you. And I don't know why, and I don't know, exactly how. I have a good idea, but they're caring enough, and they love you enough, and trust you enough to share it with you. Now, if you want pure knowledge, and if you want pure knowledgeable teachings, so to speak, that is unfiltered, pure knowledge out of the light to you. And for whatever reason, whoever is caring enough to share that with you feels that you are, I guess for lack of a better word, worthy of it. Now, Mr. Mike, you know what I mean when I say that, but there's a lot of people who don't. So, you know, what I mean when I say all this, besides the things in common and stuff, they tend to separate those people. Now, here's the sad part, and I haven't covered all this stuff yet. See, if anybody's ever, not too many people see my stuff, and I don't even think that anybody ever will, but because I'm very tightly, at least for now, wrapped. And Mr. Mike, he knows what I mean. The kind of thing where all your phone calls are intercepted, or they're deflected, or they're, when you call somewhere, you might get through the first time, but the second time, either your target is compromised and they act completely different, or you'll get the supposed party, but it's a bunch of, guess who, theater actors on the other end, in which your phone call has been so very unlawfully, I don't know, blocked, or deflected to another number, so that, well, those actors just might happen to be there playing the actual part of a doctor's office or wherever you were trying to call. Oh, we don't do that, I'm sorry, kind of thing. And Mr. Mike, he knows what I mean when I say that. So they tend to keep those kind of people extremely sad and extremely, that's why, and I didn't mean to, and I'm very sorry, but I think in the mirror part too, I kind of got a little emotional, because when I say, look what they did to him, it's just, that's not fair. It is not. It's the most, and I haven't even gotten into what they've done to me. If you listen far back enough, you'll see them. I put some of them up there, but I didn't get into the gory stuff that was done to me. But Mr. Mike, he knows what I'm talking about. But they tend to keep those individuals that tend to shine, I'll leave it that way, because they like darkness, but that tend to shine and brightly, and they keep them incredibly insulated, and they keep them incredibly shut off. Don't forget what I told you about the phone. That's just the phone, okay? I didn't even get into online stuff. So he knows what I mean, but I could guarantee, of course, like, nobody's going to hear this anyway, but let's say, by some miraculous chance that he did, and he was, I could have a conversation, because all of us were literally dying to, we want to have a conversation with someone else who is on the same knowledge level. He had mentioned one time about the bathing of Apollo in one of his TV specials. I think it was Living, but I'm not sure. It was when he was at the Art Gallery in Las Vegas, I think. But anyhow, I knew exactly what he was talking about. And since then, it's just, and the people just wait, just wait. And Mr. Mike knows what I'm talking about. Wait until they find out what's been done to them, and how the theater and what role it plays in all of this. Okay, but what I'm saying is, like, if he was, the reason I would probably, and of course, everybody's always a fan, so I'm a big fan first, of course, but more so than that. And if you ever gave me a reason to say why I would want to ever converse with this very gentle soul, it's because it's almost like you know the person from somewhere else, and that's why I call him Star Brother. So the conversation that would begin, it would last. It would be one of those where you'd have to be somewhere, and in some comfortable setting, and just kicking back and watching TV and get rid of it, because that conversation, which you've never been allowed to have, would last for days, literally. And that doesn't just go with Mr. Mike. I mean, anyone who is on that knowledge level, because you're never allowed to do it, because they keep you so tightly wrapped up, and because they don't obviously want that out. But look, that's not up to anyone else. That's up to me. That's up to Mr. Mike. That's up to each individual. That's freedom. And anyone else who claims the right to, keep that locked up, well, damn you to hell. And may you never come back. And you know who I'm talking about. Not you, Mr. Mike. Please don't hurt me. But anyhow. But these two individuals are the only ones, bringing Mr. DJ back into the picture here now, that would get it. That would really, really get it. Because, and if you ask Mr. Mike or you urge Mr. DJ, they'll tell you, you have to hold back, because you can't have a conversation, because nobody's going to know what you're talking about. And I'm talking about even the so-called, Anons. They've been, and I will be willing to bet you that Mr. Mike, he'll even know what this means. They're kind of being slowly exposed to this information, but and even those guys, it's still just only another layer. It's not all of them. I'll have to explain that later in another presentation. But there's not as many layers as people might think. There's not as and they're not as complex as one might think. But they are complex. But if we were to just say 3, I would say probably, and since there's a conflict going on at present, apparently, I have to say apparently, they would be, you can't be shown all 3, because, you would be giving away, if you use your natural sense, common sense, as they say, I say natural sense, you would know you don't do that in a time of war. You don't do that, especially if it's your side. You don't do that. People, come on. What, the safety of your country, and then for views on a particular video website? I hope that is not even a ponderance upon your agenda. I really hope it's not. There's no question what you do in that case, and you pretty much, you can say it in one word or 2. It's called zip it. All right. I'm sorry, but anyhow, back to Mr. Mike, Mr. DJ. But anyway, I just wanted to put this up here because there's 2, but they're being shown pretty much, let's just say, the second one, when you get up there and get into the what they call Q drops. There's a lot of them that are going to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I see that? Oh my God. That's what they're going to say, even those so-called anonymous. Well, who the hell are you? What makes you whatever. I know that's I hear that. Not much because I'm not allowed to talk to too many. Remember, and when you do try to, Mr. Mike, he'll understand what I mean when I say this one. Even the doctors, even the attorneys, even the bank managers, and the regional directors. Very strangely, when you start displaying a certain level of knowledge, they, at least nowadays, tend to shut up and they run. Sorry, excuse me, I've got to get going and help this other person over here. Excuse me, but it was nice talking to you. I wonder if it might just have anything to do with that implanted audio device in your ear, maybe. I'm not sure. That's just let's call it a make-believe example. Mr. Mike, you'll laugh when I say that, and it's a good laugh. But only reason I say that is because one of them seems like he got shocked one time. Yeah, when it was almost time for him to run. Anyhow, so just putting this up here. Yeah, these are the two. And strangely enough, and no, I'm not trying to, but strangely enough, and I'm not going to mention them in this one. This right here all belongs to Mr. DJ and Mr. Mike. There is one more, but it's not. Oh, you're trying to include yourself in this little. I don't want to include myself in nothing. I didn't want this. I didn't even want. Once again, I haven't shared what's happened to me yet. So anyhow, but there's even a connection to that one too. So there's actually three, but I'm gonna not mention the other one for now. But very strange, but pleasantly strange connections to these two for me. And they would be, the only reason I put this as well, I put this up here as well, because somebody had asked me the other day, because I always said, well, you're not going to comprehend it, so it doesn't even, it's not even worth it to go into it. Sometimes my earth daddy, my daddy used to tell me, well, when you get older, because you'll understand a little bit better when you get older. Well, hell, man, I was, over so many decades old at one point, and I was like, well, when the hell am I going to be old enough? But anyway, but these two are the two that would are the only that I can think of, because when they say, well, is there anybody who wouldn't get it? Because you always tell me that's what they told me. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry, I just don't want to waste your time, because they end up leaving anyway. But they did ask me if there was anybody that would get everything I was saying. I was like, of course. But I thought I would be rattling off all these other names, and I couldn't. And the only two that came up was Mr. DJ, of course, and Mr. Mike. Now, I'm sure there's lots more, but I don't know who they are. But these are the two of them. And like I said, with Mr. Mike, he would get a huge kick out of one of the things that I have in common with him. But anyway, well, I can't do that. We'll save it for later. But you get a kick out of it. But anyhow, so for Mr. DJ and Mr. Mike, I just want to say thank you to both of you with everything I got. if you want to know why, if you want to know why I don't refer to Mr. DJ as the president or Mr. Mike, I don't really know him on a personal level, but my mother, or as we say, my mother and my daddy, well, they at least would in my part of the country, and they make sure that you respect your elders. And they would never forgive me if I didn't at least address someone properly. But if you know what you really should know, Mr. DJ, the reason why I don't call him president is because I care about him more as an individual. I care about him as a brother. And I think I've already made that clear in Mr. Mike's case. Because I already call him Star Brother. And one more thing. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if at the end of all of this, after it's all over and said and done with, at least what we're dealing with here, right now, at present, and after it's all over and said and done with, the one who everyone knows as the president has a celebration of some sort, a jubilee, if you will. And, just suppose that, there's, of course, there'd be several, I'm sure there would be lots of people there. And the ones who could make it, I'm sure would. But wouldn't it be nice? Now, in the case of Mr. Mike, I really don't want to say, I really can't say, honestly, one way or the other. Did I do my investigation into that situation? Yes. Did I come to a conclusion? Yes. But that's not my place to say, people. And that's just out of pure respect for Mr. Mike. But let me put it this way. Nothing would make me, more happy regarding this situation here than to be able to look at this photo or this shot. And because what I keep hearing, and I don't hear voices, nothing, so don't worry. But what I do keep hearing is, I don't know how many remember the Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, I'm talking about the original TV show back in the 80s. I don't want to give away my age either. And before they would go to a commercial, Waylon Jennings would usually kind of, segue that out with some kind of a, forgive my language here, I almost want to say some kind of smart-ass country remark, and that's after they froze the frame of whatever, Bo and Luke were doing, or were about to encounter, or whatever. So that's kind of like something of what I see when I see this picture, or what I hear. And somebody asked me the other day, well, what do you hear? And of course, they wanted me to, you know, do that for them. So I'll just, this is what I actually honestly hear when I see this shot. Hearing if it was Waylon Jennings doing that, it would be something like, you know, they say that pictures are worth 1,000 words, but they sure don't say nothing. But as far as this one, it's almost as if it's almost saying, gotcha. I wonder. And now you know. But knowing Mr. Mike and the way he thinks, if such a celebration or jubilee did happen, and you know, it was this big event and televised or whatever, I will tell you this. You know, he doesn't know me at all, so, but I do know him and how he thinks. And I will tell you that, let's say if it did take place and there was a list of, you know, people to appear, to come out, you know, before the so-called event were to happen, I can almost guarantee you his name wouldn't be on there. No. He's too good a showman for that. But that's okay. Kind of just adds to it. Everybody take care.